Does cultural appropriation exist today, and if so, does it change our perspective?
Does cultural appropriation exist today? I'm not sure if I should look at him or the camera, so I'm gonna be like, look
Either
maybe down
way,
this
you
way.
can look at me or you can look
Okay.
at him.
Does cultural appropriation exist today? That's a good question. If you define cultural appropriation as the unfair practice of like a more powerful culture stealing symbols and ideas from a less powerful culture, does it exist today? Sure, it exists.
And how does that change our perspective?
How does that change our perspective? Well, I think that generally white people, Caucasians, people of dominant white culture, would not like to think that it exists. So our perspective is that slavery ended and oppression of minorities ended when they got civil rights. And so therefore everything is even Steven now. And they need to forget everything that happened, even though slavery and oppression happened for 550 years and civil rights has only been going for 70. Forget the 550 years, everything's equal and even Steven. So I think the white perspective is that it's all overblown and overhyped. And I think probably the other perspective from the other side is, why won't you listen to us? I don't know. Or probably angry that white people blow off something that's important to other people. I don't know.
You said that cultural appropriation exists today.
I did.
In what ways? That now in this time of the...
Well, I said it exists. Now, I didn't go so far as to say, I wouldn't say it's like necessarily evil. Like my students and I, we spent like a month and a half reading up about it, talking about it. We're all of many different ethnicities and stuff. And one of the things that was interesting with many ethnicities was that a lot of the students felt like, listen, it's all fair game. If a white person wants to wear cornrows, even though they don't understand slave culture and they don't understand what the meaning of cornrows, it's fair game. And if a black person wants to come up to them and shout them down for it, that's fair game too. So it was interesting. I expected people to be very offended of minority races and cultures that I teach, but it was actually the opposite. Most of them were like, it's not really that offensive. Like, if a white person wants to wear a Pocahontas Indian costume for Halloween, they were like, we don't care. You know, if a white person wants to dress up as a Mexican with a sombrero and a mustache, those really typical examples of things that are often considered cultural appropriation, like, you can't do that, those were not the things that really offended most of the people when we talked. The things that did offend people when we talked were classic examples of mocking a culture. Those bothered them, like blackfacing and things like that, or yellow facing. Some of those things bothered them more when they were blatant and obnoxiously done with the intent of being malicious.